the time to get to you, and no one delivers any of the feelings that you do. I've saved my life, waiting for the dreams to all come true. Then I saw that you are everything I need to get me through. 'Cause we are connected in unity. We'll get far as long as it's you and me. It is how we feel. It is how we love. It is how we dream. It is who we are. Who we are. I know that you've been struggling to make the ends meet. Take my desire, turn it into firepower. You may be tired, I will take you higher than the clouds. Our dreams, as they seem, are only one step away from us. Yeah, we are connected in unity. We'll get far, 'cause we are meant to be. It is how we feel. It is how we love. It is how we dream. It is who we are. Who we are. Who we are.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Grind Fantasy official live stream for this NBA 10 game slate. Cannot wait to break it down. Thank you all 64 of you guys joining us bright and early for the slate breakdown. Sorry, we're off to a little bit of a late start, but don't worry. We will catch up and we will be breaking down every single bit of injury news that we just received. TJ, you there?
Yo, hi.
Yo, what's
Yes.
going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, you ready
Hi.
for Boston Chalk Night?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. All right.
kidding
So, yeah, let's go ahead and start there. TJ, your Boston Celtics ruled out a couple guys we didn't expect early on. We have Marcus Smart, now Tice, and now Kemba Walker ruled out for your Boston Celtics. So, we're going back to the well with Pritchard, and are we praying that he's going to actually score more than 5 points?
So, I mean, earlier in the day, Matt, I knew that Kemba was going to get ruled out, especially on a back-to-back. They said they were going to take it light on him in terms of back-to-backs this season. So I had a feeling, obviously, that Kemba was going to sit. So this matchup against Atlanta is a really good one here for the Boston Celtics, and a lot of them carrying ownership, and rightfully so. Tatum, I was really high on him last night. I'm going to go right back there again tonight, Matt. He's showing really high ownership. And with no Tice, no Marcus Smart, and no Kemba on the floor, we're looking at a guy that gets a 4.7% usage bump, a 1.6 fantasy point per minute, and a 35.5% usage rate. So I currently have Tatum, which he hasn't gotten, I don't think, all year, maybe once, 63.66 fantasy points, which is an absolutely absurd number, obviously. But, you know, given the matchup against Atlanta and the short rotation that the tight rotation that we should see from the Celtics, I really do like Tatum on this back-to-back. I also have interest in JB at 7,900, 3.7% usage bump, 1.32 fantasy point per minute, 34.4% total usage, 50.65 points I have pegged for JB. I have interest in Pritchard. He gets a 1.5% usage bump. So if he starts, I do think he's going to be cash viable. I don't know if I will go there, but I do think you can as long as he is starting. 0.83 fantasy point per minute when he does start alongside Tatum and JB. 23.6 DraftKings points is what we have him pegged for. Tristan Thompson's intriguing here, Matt, at 4,100. 1% usage bump with no Tice and obviously Smart and Kemba, but mostly Tice, 1.02 fantasy point per minute. And then guys like Semi, who you talked about last night, I'm not really too interested tonight, but I do think he's a decent filler at 3,400. Okay. Again, I said I didn't want him last night. I don't think I'll take him tonight, but again, he is a cheap guy that's playing minutes. But Robert Williams is the guy that I'm obviously looking at here. He played 20 minutes last night against the Nuggets, looked absolutely fantastic. He's not a guy that's going to get you 24, 26 minutes. He's going to play around that 18 to 20 minute threshold. But even with that being said, Matt, he gets half. Okay, Ben Simmons just got rolled out. He gets half.
Expected that.
Yeah, he gets half. He gets 0.5 of a usage bump. He's a 1.26 fantasy point per minute off the bench. So I definitely think he's an efficient play, especially against these Atlanta guys. So I have a lot of interest here with the Celtics, Matt, mostly in Tatum and Robert Williams. Honestly, if I had JB in my lineups too, I would not hate it. So I will be carrying some Celtics if I'm running a one line tonight in cash.
TJ, you look like bad grandpa. I don't. It must be the mustache again. I don't know what the hate is again. Anyway, completely agree with you, TJ. Robert Williams, what a beast. Last night, he stepped it up $3,100. He's only projected to play 20 minutes, like you said, averaging 1.36, 1.32. No, that's Taco Fall. Robert Williams, 1.26. There it is, 1.26 fantasy points per minute. So, yeah, an absolute beast. Have him pegged right now, 27.2 points, 8.8 point per dollar value. And then, yeah, the two studs here from your Boston Celtics, Tatum and Brown, they're both very, very cheap in a pace-up matchup. Nothing more needs to be said. You take a Kemba Walker, usage monster off the court, and those are my three cash locks. I think those guys are borderline cash locks as of right now, TJ. I think once we sit back and look at the Philly news, because obviously Ben Simmons is rolled out, that's going to impact them. But I think a majority of the chalk is going to come from this game against Atlanta. I really do. So Robert Williams.
Matt, I just want to
go ahead.
I just want to say one thing with Robert Williams, and somebody just alluded to it in the chat, and something that I obviously noticed. Robert Williams did have 5 steals last night. So if we take away those 5 steals, we're still looking at 20.5 DraftKings points in 20 minutes at 3,100 last night against Denver. So I still think he was really efficient without those 5 steals. Even if you just give him 1, he's still smashing value. So, with the given fantasy point per minute that he does have in a good matchup against Atlanta, and, him and TT last night split, or they didn't split the center minutes, but it was Tristan Thompson directly on 28, Robert Williams directly on 20. I think that's a route that they probably look to take tonight against Atlanta with Capella and John Collins down low. So even if he plays 20 minutes and he's not getting 5 steals, I still think he can pay, hit value for you at
easily.
Least at $3,100.
$3,100, guys. That's a bottom of the barrel price tag. We don't need him to get 5 steals. We just need him to get 5 points. And you get pretty close to hitting that value. So I really do like him for value tonight. TJ, so given the Philly news here, I don't know if we should go straight to that game, because right now it's Boston and then nobody else in terms of value. I guess you can throw Denver into the mix and maybe some Houston guys, but I do think Philly's going to stand out the most. So you just want to go ahead and switch over there and then compute some values and see what it's looking like?
You just want to talk about
Danny Green?
You just want to talk about Danny Green. Like, that's all. We all know it, Matt. You don't have to hide it from us.
0.69 fantasy points per minute. Nice.
Yeah, he's an absolute menace.
He's a menace on the map. I actually don't want to. I think I finally learned my lesson. Unless like the entire team's ruled out, 61 points is what he'll drop. But it has to literally be the entire team. So Ben Simmons is going to be ruled out from that game. Do you want to move on there, TJ?
Yeah, we can. I'm doing it right now. Embiid gets an 8.2% usage bump with
no
Simmons and no Milton. Yep. Harris gets a 6.2% usage bump. Seth goes the complete wrong way. Where you headed, pal? Danny Green, Matt, 2.6% usage bump. We got to throw Korkmaz in this. And then obviously everybody's going to be wondering about Tyrese Maxey. And obviously if Tyrese Maxey starts, then he will be a cash lock. That is for certain. Embiid. Okay, Matt. Okay,
yeah, I see it.
71 minutes.
I'm looking.
Okay. Of time with no Simmons and no Milton.
You guys see this.
Embiid gets an 8.2% usage bump. He's a 1.99 fantasy point per minute.
It's like James Harden-esque.
99, 43.3% total usage. What?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know what? I have to go to last year too. I don't like the sample size.
Oh, I like it. I'm playing them. Let's see. Let's go to Philly. Philly's playing. Also DeMarcus Cousins. Wait, it's gonna be Joel Embiid versus DeMarcus Cousins tonight. Are you kidding me? This is gonna be
it's
fun.
gonna be it's gonna be an absolute bloodbath between those two.
Yeah, I can just imagine how annoying that would be. 67.66. Okay,
Danny Green. Hey Matt, Danny Green went from a 0.69 to a 0.59, so that's good.
His fantasy points per minute dropped off.
So I'm gonna put Maxey to 28 minutes just to.
You think it's gonna be that much?
Okay. I mean, yeah, if he starts, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 26 to 28 probably. I think that's a safe number. So yeah, I can tell you right now that like as long as Maxey is starting, then he's a lock and cash. And I think you can seriously consider having Embiid.
Okay.
That's all. That's really all that I'd be interested in.
Already? You already computed all that and made that conclusion? Hold on, let me catch up. How much do you have Tobias Harris for?
In terms of
actual points
production, I would have him for 40.07 DraftKings points, which is I think is a little low. But still.
Seth Curry didn't change.
23.73. Okay. So yeah, didn't really change.
And Danny Green
17.
Okay.
Cork Maz I put to 24 minutes. I have him at 14.66, and then I have Maxey at 28 minutes at 35.68.
You said you have Cork Maz at 24?
14.66. 24 minutes I have Cork Maz at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are just, estimates.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see what you're looking at now. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. So against Houston, you have to keep in mind, guys, that Houston is a bottom 5 defense right now. $3,200. His ownership's definitely going to go way, way up if he does start, like TJ alluded to. I think that's going to be definitely a cash viable option. This Philly versus Houston game
cash
is
lock,
definitely what's that?
Cash lock.
Yeah. Did I not say cash lock?
You said option.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely going to be a cash lock, and playing Houston, it just makes me like him so much more. So let's switch over to let's switch over to the Houston guys, TJ, because we do have some pending, or we have some actual, we have some solidified injury news. Oladipo, Tucker now, Exum, and Wood ruled out for these guys, TJ. So I actually haven't computed without Tucker. I'm assuming it won't do too much except for the minute boost here. Sterling Brown project. What's up? What's up?
I love cutting you off. The biggest thing, obviously, we're still pending is Eric Gordon, because if Eric Gordon's out, then we're looking at the same situation that we saw 2 nights ago. And that was just value all over the place for Houston against Washington. It's a little bit, obviously, of a different matchup here against Philly, but I still think some of these guys are cheap enough, Matt, like David Nwaba. If Eric Gordon's out and Nwaba starts again at 4,300, like I'm going to love him.
Yeah.
So I honestly haven't computed for Houston because I was hoping we'd get that Eric Gordon news on stream.
Eric Gordon's. Oh, you're right. He is questionable. I thought he was doubtful. Yeah. Oh.
No, so he's.
Yeah, that does change things.
Yeah, he's a potential play there.
Okay. All right. Well,
so, I mean, if we see the same situation that we did against the Wizards, Matt, we saw John Wall play 35 minutes. Daniel House played 36. Nwaba played 41. We saw Tate play 40. Sterling Brown, 25 off the bench. Boogie only played 20. So that was fun. But yeah, I think it shakes up a lot. So we definitely need to wait and see what's going on with Eric Gordon.
Okay, yep, let's hold off there. Let's go to Denver, TJ, because Denver has some intriguing options. As of right now, we have some pending injury news from there as well. Let me switch. It is a pain going through 10 games right now. Gary Harris questionable. Monty Morris out, or questionable. Barton out. Dozier out. Millsap out. And Whittington out, TJ. So let me know who you liking from this team.
Well, again, it's pretty impediment on Monty Morris because, like, if Monty Morris is out, we're going to see Campazzo again probably get the start. He played 40 minutes against the Celtics last night. He was very efficient. Ended up hitting, 11 times, 12 times value. He went for 37 DraftKings points. So if, Matt, if he's implemented into the starting lineup, like he's another cash lock along with Maxey. If Maxey's implemented in the starting lineup, which at least he should be with Simmons ruled out. Michael Porter, I know we let a lot of people down last night at 6,200, but I do definitely like this matchup a little bit more for him against Washington. So probably more of a tournament play because his price bumped up a little bit and he's not really showing too much ownership. I talked about Jamal Murray last night and how much I loved him in tournaments. He absolutely smashed. And again, same situation here. If we don't see Monty Morris and Gary Harris is held out, I'm going to like him again in tournaments. And then, man, if Jokic, like, I don't even care who plays. Like, how do you ignore Jokic and what he did last night against the Celtics? 64 DraftKings points with a depleted team. Doesn't really matter as long as they can stay competitive. Like, he can pay off that price tag at $11K. And right now, Matt, this is one of the higher over-unders that we have at 234. Denver actually 3-point road favorites. So I obviously have some strong interest in Nikola Jokic, especially against Washington. Good luck, Mo Wagner. I mean, he absolutely torched us last night. Torched. So
I mean, he's a front runner in MVP, so I wouldn't let that bug you too much.
And rightfully so. I mean, hey, we got the win finally. But
exactly.
I definitely like Jokic. And then if Monty and Gary Harris are out, I have heavy interest in obviously Campazzo. I like Jamal Murray if those guys are out too in tournaments, as I do Michael Porter. JaMychal Green, I feel like, is on everybody's shit list too. But he was 90. He was so high owned, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and Cashew is definitely high owned. Yeah, I mean, this is a pace-up spot. These guys are the second highest over-under on the slate. And you have some studs here who are underpriced, especially if Monty Morris and Gary Harris are ruled out. And if they are, definitely going to load up on the other side here with Denver. So absolutely love this game, TJ. Yes, I think Jokic is actually going to be very close to a cash lock. I don't think you ignore him anymore, 11K. This is a better matchup, I'd say, than your Boston Celtics last night. You have to think that they're just playing in such a high-tempo game here. JaMychal Green, like you alluded to, and then also Michael Porter Jr. showing some ownership, borderline GPP cash options. But I do think you have to lock in Jokic tonight, or come pretty close to it. At least have some high exposure in GPPs, even if you don't lock him in cash. This guy is in an absolute smash spot tonight, so absolutely love him. And just like that, we covered all the cash options, literally. So it was Boston. It's going to be some Denver, and then we can bounce around, TJ, if you want to do that.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so the one guy that's showing the most ownership out of the entire NBA as of right now is Isaiah Roby. Horford was ruled out. I'm making sure that he was officially
out.
Okay, Horford is out, so that's the reason for Isaiah Roby. 28 minutes, 4K, 43.9% ownership. TJ, do you agree with that chalk?
Yep, 0.97 fantasy point per minute, Matt. Gonna get starter minutes tonight. So yes, I definitely like him. We have him pegged for 27 DraftKings points. So I 100% on Isaiah Roby. I do like the matchup too, obviously down low against Memphis. So yes, Isaiah Roby for cash for me. Yes.
And then with Detroit, we actually have Delon Wright showing some ownership, 19.3% ownership without Derrick Rose, Blake Griffin. Obviously, Derrick Rose isn't on the team anymore. So Delon Wright did prove that he was worthy of a cash option last game. Projected or played 36 minutes, and he is 6K. Do you have any interest in Delon Wright? This is going to be a slight pace-up spot versus Chicago.
Yeah, I actually do, Matt. With no Dumboya, no Blake Griffin, no Killian Hayes, obviously, Ja Okafor out, and Derrick Rose being dealt to the New York Knicks. We're looking at DeLon Wright, currently projected around 34, 35 minutes. Almost gets a 1% usage bump. He's actually a 1.08 fantasy point per minute. 17.3 total usage, Matt. I have him pegged for 36.95 DraftKings points. So I actually don't hate if you're landing on DeLon Wright in cash. It is a little bit of an up-paced matchup against Chicago, like you said, and might actually be somewhat competitive. So if you are landing there at 6K and you're looking for somebody in the mid tier, I can get behind DeLon Wright tonight in cash.
Yeah, I agree. 1.08 fantasy points per minute. Can't hate on that. He is the starting point guard, unfortunately, for the Detroit team. So, Denver, another team that we talked about for cash. JaMychal Green showing the next in ownership. Ojale, Ja Morant, Pritchard, and then also some of these Indiana guys, TJ. We have Brogdon and Sabonis showing some ownership. Do you have any interest there in cash?
I mean, it's a really good matchup against Minnesota. Brogdon at 7,700 is pretty cheap. I just don't know if I'm going to go there in cash just because I have more interest in some of these Celtics guys. TJ McConnell has just been absolutely on fire.
Yeah, he has.
5,600, starting to come up, starting to creep up that price tag. Yeah, he's very good. He played 42 minutes against Chicago, Matt. So if he's going to get like mid 30 minutes, which I think that was a rarity. But if he's going to get like 32, 34 minutes in these games, like, yeah, I don't hate him as a tournament play.
Yeah.
I think Sabonis is obviously in a pretty good matchup there against Minnesota, as is Brogdon, obviously. Minnesota does struggle against guards. So I have interest there, but more of tournament plays for Brogdon, Sabonis, and TJ McConnell.
Yep, high-paced matchup from them. And then the rest are going to be GPP options, TJ, so let's go through them. As of right now, we have pending injury news in Orlando. Oh, no, we don't anymore. So Cole Anthony, Ennis, and Aaron Gordon are out. So give me all the GPP options from Orlando. Michael Carter-Williams, let's get a usage boost. We talked about him in the early video. Vucevic at 10.1K, probably the most expensive we've seen him all season long. TJ has a favorable matchup. Really like him for GPPs. And on the flip side, with the Knicks, I like Julius Randle and also Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel still benefiting from that injury with Mitchell Robinson. Going down the list here, we have who's next? Oh, the Pelicans are a team I want to talk about. Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson just keeps exploding. I think he's finally rising to the occasion, TJ. He's finally showing the NBA what he's worth. Absolute tear as of late. And he's playing in a pace-up spot yet again against Portland. 35 projected minutes is what we have him at right now. $8,200. So a lot of interest for GPPs here. Brandon Ingram, $8,400. 8.5% ownership. Those guys are definitely going to be guys I'm going to want to be targeting here in GPPs. On the Portland side, I do like Damian Lillard, 13.6% ownership, 36 minutes. Definitely going to be flying under the radar tonight at 10.3K. Going down the list, we have Miami. Miami still with Jimmy Butler, 8.8K now on this price tag. That's still very cheap, TJ. He's been hitting that value every single time in the pace-up spot versus Golden State, 12.9% ownership. And then going across the list, last but not least, with the Clippers. The Clippers are still without Paul George. Load up on guys like Kawhi Leonard. By the way, he is technically questionable. So if he is held out, load up on the Clippers. It's going to be Clippers chalk night. Wait for the late night hammer. Definitely love these guys in terms of GPPs. Load up on Lou Will if he's ruled out, Ibaka, Reggie Jackson. Despite the matchup, doesn't matter. Right now, Utah's only 4-point favorites. And then on the Utah side of the ball, if Mike Conley is ruled out, load up on guys like Jordan Clarkson. Donovan Mitchell is a great play, $8,300. And then also Rudy Gobert is still undervalued at 7.3K. And those are my favorite GPP options. Had a little bit to look at because it is a 10-game slate. But my favorite guys, I want to reiterate, my favorite guys are going to be from that New Orleans Pelicans game. And that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. I like that. Sticking with that Clippers game that you talked about, Matt, Marcus Morris right now at 5,700. Obviously, we don't have Paul George. Batum is also out tonight, so I would expect Morris to start.
Yes,
He's going to get 31 minutes. He gets a 2% usage bump. He's a 1.01 fantasy point per minute, 22.5% total usage. We haven't pegged for 32 DraftKings points, so I do like him as a tournament play. Draymond Green also rates out pretty well on our sheet at 6,800. A little bit of a tougher matchup, obviously, against Miami, but they're going to need his size down low against a guy like Bam. Couple athletic bigs going at it. 1.1 fantasy point per minute this year, which is a lot higher than I anticipated for Draymond. Currently pegged at 38.46 DraftKings points, so I do like him. Man, Anthony Edwards against the Lakers last
good
night.
one. I like that.
Really, really good. And I don't know if he's going to come off that high and be an absolute dud tonight, but Matt, he does rate out really well on our sheet. He was 6K last night. He is 6K again tonight. He gets a 1.4% usage bump with all those guys out over there in Memphis. We have Bane out. We have, who else is out? Obviously, Jaren Jackson's been out. Melton is also out as well. So he gets a 1.4% usage bump. He's a 1.03 fantasy point per minute, 26.6% usage, which is actually tied for the highest on the team with Beasley. And excuse me, I was just reading off Memphis. I meant Culver.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry. Yeah, I was very confused. Yeah. Because I started looking at it and I was like, why am I reading off Memphis and talking about Anthony?
I was also confused. I was going to let you roll with it, but hey.
Yeah, no, just Culver and just D'Lo, 1.4% usage bump, 1.03 fantasy point per minute, 26.6% total usage. So tied with Malik Beasley. He's been playing very well. We even pegged at 34.47 DraftKings points. So I really do like Anthony Edwards again. Again, I'm not too sure what we're going to see from him tonight, especially coming off that game against the Lakers. Where else are we looking? Capella at 7,500. Really intriguing matchup. I do like him. Yeah, 1.3% usage bump, Matt. 1.41 fantasy point per minute going up against my Celtics. He could have an absolute field day. I agree with you on Zion, 8,200, playing really well. I'm going to go back to the well tonight with Jamal Murray. If Monty Morris is ruled out, I will definitely love me some of him at 7,100. Joe Val against OKC, like going up against Isaiah Roby. I think that represents a pretty decent matchup for him down low. If he was going up against Al, I wouldn't like it as much, but going up against Roby down low, sign me up for some Joe Val, especially in tournaments, carrying low ownership. And then DeLon Wright, Matt, like we talked about, if he's going to be on that borderline cash GPP option, I do like him. And Michael Porter at 6,200. I think a lot of people are going to be off of him because of his dud last night.
Yeah, I'm going to be all aboard the Michael Porter Jr. train. By the way, TJ, we got some ownership updates. You didn't expect this. You ready for the guy who popped the most for Philly?
Korkmaz.
It is Korkmaz. 25% ownership.
Yeah, so they're going back to, okay. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to do. I want to look and see.
Tobias Harris is actually up there too. Not too far.
Yeah. So Ben Simmons that February 4th against.
And Maxi's only projected to play 23 minutes. I think you're a little bit more bullish. I think you had 28 minutes.
Yeah,
there.
I think I got a little too excited there. So yeah, Matt, last time that we saw no Simmons, they started Seth Green, Danny Green, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and then Korkmaz. And that was the game that actually, do you remember we talked about Seth Curry becoming a potential cash option? And then he didn't play in the second half because of the illness that he had. That was
I
that
got
game.
roasted.
Yeah, you got roasted because you're trash. Yeah. So I don't expect Korkmaz to play 38 minutes, but I guess if they do run Seth Curry again at point guard like they did last time, then yeah, and they start Korkmaz, like Korkmaz would be the play at 3,300. So I guess ignore my Tyrese Maxey play because we're going to have to wait and see that starting lineup. If he does start, for some reason they do run him at point and Seth at the 2, then yeah, I think you can go there. But if he's coming off the bench, he's definitely going to be more of a tournament play. If they start Korkmaz at 3,300, like that's going to be where I'm going.
So you think Seth Curry, if he starts, is going to be cash viable?
No, I was saying Tyrese Maxey. If Tyrese Maxey starts and does start at point at 3,200 and he gets starter minutes, he's obviously going to be cash viable. But if they run Seth Curry at the point, Matt, I would be interested in him. I don't know if I'd be locking him in cash, but if they start him at the point, that would probably mean Danny Green or Korkmaz plays the 2. So then, yes, if Korkmaz starts, I would have interest there. So basically, whoever's starting from Philly at that guard position, that's who I'm going to like. Okay. Obviously, more so Maxey over Seth. And then if Korkmaz is thrusted into the starting lineup, if it is Seth Curry running the point, then I would like him.
Daniel House is actually starting for PJ Tucker for what it's worth, TJ. I know if you you said if Nwaba started, then you like him. Do you have interest in Daniel House now that he's starting for PJ Tucker?
Yeah, no, I do. So Nwaba would start if Eric Gordon sits. So that's what we're still waiting on here. So
and he's still a game time decision, so that's fun.
Yeah, so of course we have to wait, so that sucks, yeah. But yeah, no, I have interest in House as long as he's starting 5K. So the price tag's creeping up a little bit there. He gave some good minutes against Washington. I would expect him to play that same amount of minutes that he did, honestly, if this game can be competitive against Philly. So yeah, I would have some interest there, but I don't know if I would go there in cash. Again, I'm still hawking this Eric Gordon news. Because that's what I want to see. Because if Nwaba plays again and starts, then I really love him at 4,300. And then I would really like John Wall a lot more at 7,800.
All right. Very well said, TJ. I think we're ready for questions. It's now 6:10, so we have about 15 more minutes. And then we'll go ahead and get off. And hopefully we get more entry updates.
News, Matt. Let's get some news. Yeah. Guys, if we don't get any news,
that sucks.
And you have been teetering. Yeah, it does suck. And you've been teetering on potentially joining us in the DGF community. I think tonight might be a pretty good night because we are pending a lot of significant injury. We did, yeah.
Did you see what our community did?
Yes. Eric Gordon still pending at 7:30. It's huge. Doug McDermott we didn't talk about for Indy. That is huge because if Doug's out, then that means TJ McConnell starting. Monty Morris is huge again for Denver. Like, do you go to Campazzo or not to Campazzo? That's the question, especially in that matchup against the Wizards. Ronnie Hood is out, are pending for Portland. So if he's out, like Derrick Jones Jr. becomes a really intriguing play. And then Kawhi and Conley in that late game, Utah and the Clippers, Matt, that's going to offer some fantastic pivot option. So, guys, the link is below. $20 get you access to all of our cheat sheets for every single sport. Obviously, basketball night in and night out. It also gets you access to our Discord, where we will be paying a lot more attention tonight, Matt, especially with all the pending injury news that we do have.
We'll be working overtime tonight.
Yeah, so check it out. Links below if that interests you guys.
Yep. Also, SuperDraft link. We're going to be talking to some SuperDraft here in a little bit. Might as well touch base on some of the SuperDraft.
I think we got a little something planned, right?
Is tomorrow Thursday? Yeah, we do have something planned.
Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah. Well, I don't know because you didn't answer me, but
what?
You just ignored me when I gave you my idea.
Hey, you know what I was doing today? I was doing a lot today, so I'm working hard behind the scenes. And you know, when I'm focused on something, I'm not looking at you. Clark Clint behind the scenes.
Clark Clint was working hard today.
Yes. All right, here we go. We got some questions. PJ Tucker out tonight. That's not a question, but thank you, Bill. Really appreciate it. How's this for cash? MCW, Nwaba, Edwards, Seth Curry, Ingram, Jeremy Grant, Roby, Tatum, and Embiid. I like that lineup. Don't know if it's cash worthy because Jeremy Grant's in there. And Ingram, I'd say it's a little bit more of a GPP option, but I do like that lineup.
It's more of a tourney.
Wayne says sign up with Jock Market. Use code DGF20. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you so much for that.
Let's go, Wayne.
All right, and that's all I got.
Perfect. Let's see what we have over here. And Matt, I want you to do me a favor real quick while you can. Can you bring up SuperDraft? Let's bring up the SuperDraft plays because I feel like we're gonna have some SuperDraft questions.
Yeah.
Tommy said he times 25. He times 25 as money last night, Matt. Good shit, Tommy. William said run the likes up. Yeah, guys, 223, only 36 likes, but that's okay. We still do it anyways. Simmons is playing, said Ryan. Ryan, Simmons is out.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah. Ryan's always in here spitting hot facts.
Is it Ryan again?
Here. Jokic, play him or Capella. Kyle, that's a really big price discrepancy, man. So many options for center. Yeah, Bill, I agree with you there. Sano said he's got some Wendy's. He's ready to go. Let's go, Sano. Sano, what'd you get? The 4 for 4? TJ looking like bad grandpa. Thank you, Trent. It's a big shout out. Love bad grandpa. If that's Robert De Niro, man, that's a compliment. Williams had 5 steals. Yes, Tyler, thank you for that. Maxey, guys, I only want to be playing Maxey in cash if he's starting. Sano said everybody hating on TJ. He's a gorgeous man. Everyone is jealous. No, you're the best, man. Matt, Showtime said he really likes our opening videos with our packs.
Yeah,
we had
really
some
more
cool
success.
to see how excited we are. Yeah, we're like a bunch of children, man. It brings back like the Pokemon days.
This is not related to like hyping up Top Shots or anything. I'm not intentionally doing this, but guys, you literally make like $100 per pack every pack that you buy. I don't understand why people aren't loading up on Top Shots, but.
So we spent $14 last night on our Cool Cats pack. My Tyrese Maxey card is listed currently, and the cheapest one is $245.
That's crazy. And do you know
remember what it was? It was like $120 yesterday, and it absolutely it shot up.
Yeah. Another fun fact, TJ, is that Anthony Edwards, a guy that you were talking about earlier,
I know,
because he's on such a hot streak, it impacts the Top Shot market. So people think that, and rightfully so, Anthony Edwards is doing phenomenal, just because they think he's the next upcoming rookie, because of that his price is already increasing so much that people can't keep up with it. I saw his price tag. There was Parks in our Discord was about, I think he paid $12.50 for his rookie card. It was a low serial Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
You think about it, that could be worth more than a Zion one day. Knock on wood.
Especially, Matt, with Dwayne Wade today actually saying that he thinks Anthony Edwards could be a more player than him.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Tyrese Maxey, Matt, the lowest ask right now is $250.
That's crazy.
Right there, yeah.
That's crazy.
Kyle said, I'm interested in everybody. I don't know. Am I? I might be. TJ looks like he walked off the field of dreams and turned back to the Moonlight Graham. Okay. All right, let's get to some actual questions. Okay, so I just saw Maxey is starting. Guys, I haven't gotten a confirmed lineup here. I understand that he's currently showing starting on RotoWire, but we don't have a confirmed lineup, correct, Matt?
I'm uploading some SuperDraft projections, by the way, so.
Okay, that's perfect. That's what I want you to be doing. Yeah, we don't have a starting lineup here from Philly, so we do have to keep it lineup. So Jokic or Embiid, honestly, Gordy, I'm going to be probably trying to get both of them in there. If I had to pick one, I'd probably go with Jokic if they are without Monty Morris. Even with Monty Morris doesn't really affect it, but I'm probably going to be trying to, if I'm running a one line, I probably want Jokic and Embiid.
Jokic is on the crybaby, so.
Is the GPP lineup the same as tournaments? Yes, Erwin, it is. Tucker out. Thank you, Tommy. Matt, would you like to, again, explain cash versus tournaments? I love the way you explain it.
Did we get that question again? Yes. Cash contest. You double up your money. When you put in $5, you get $10 back. You beat 50% of the field. It's very easy, right? Very easy to cash in cash. But we're not trying to just take 50% of our money and run away with it after the slate's over, right? We're trying to take down tournaments. So with GPPs, if you place in the top on the 1%, and let's say that the field puts in $100,000, first place might get $10,000 to $20,000, while the rest of the field gets a lesser amount, and the later part of the 75% of the field might not get anything. So if you place in the top 25% in tournaments, you make a lot of money. If you don't, you don't. With the 50-50s and double ups, you just double up your money. That's simple. We're always trying to take down GPPs. That's the way to get better at DFS. That's the way to stay profitable at DFS.
Thank you, Clark Clint. DeLon's a walking bucket. Yes, he is to know. Great explanation, Matt. Shamar has a lineup here. He's got Wall, Morant, Maxey, Edwards, Barrett, JaMychal Green, I would assume, Randall, Tate, Embiid for tournaments. For tournaments, I like that. Randall or Levine?
Speaking of SuperDraft, go ahead.
I think I'm going to say Levine, honestly, against Detroit. I kind of like that matchup a little bit more.
I just got an email from our rep, TJ. You want to know what he just said?
Okay. What did he say? We're trash?
He said, we are trash and we need to stop promoting. No. He said, let me get to it because it just popped up and I got off of it. Hold on. Heads up, big overlay expected today with our first 100K NBA slate. Consider this the overlay bat signal activated. Wow. Okay, so a tremendous amount of overlay over there on SuperDraft tonight with their first 100K NBA contest, guys. So head over to SuperDraft if you haven't signed up already.
I'm 1,000% going to play that.
Yes.
Let's see here. Can you go Jokic and Embiid in the same cash lineup? Yes, I think you can, James. DK cash thoughts. We got Maxey, Campazzo, Jimmy Buckets, Tatum, Embiid, Jaylen Brown, Roby, and Robert Williams. I don't hate that, Mark. I'm only going to be going Campazzo if Monty Morris is out. Jimmy Buckets is more of a tournament play for me, but the other guys I'm definitely on board with. Maxey a little bullish on. I just want to see if he's starting. That's the big thing.
Didn't you say he was starting, or was I
Nope,
just hearing
we
things?
don't have it.
Okay, real quick, TJ, want to go over some super draft projections. Joel Embiid.
Hit him.
Yes, I have him at the 1.99 fantasy point per minute, but he's still a fantastic play tonight. He is a 1 multiplier. Going down the list here, we have John Wall, 1.45 times multiplier for John Wall tonight with everybody out. I have him projected at 66.55 points. John Collins at also a 1.45 times multiplier, TJ. So John Collins definitely in a great spot as well. We know how those big guys like to eat up the Boston bigs, so I definitely like him in that matchup. Russell Westbrook 1.25 times multiplier, like him. TJ McConnell 1.75 times multiplier, so a great option in a pace up matchup. Definitely like him. Zion Williamson 1.25 times multiplier with how he's been playing. He doesn't need a multiplier, but they gave it to him anyway. 1.25, and then also Trae Young 1.15 multiplier. He shouldn't have a multiplier. He's a stud, so yeah, the multiplier in there, and those are my favorite super draft plays.
Love it, Matt. Good job. Let's see, what else do we have? Cash core guys, we'll end with that. Don't worry. Horford, Terrence Ross, he's on the slate. Jamal or Capella? Oh, that's so hard, man. Honestly, if I'm playing tournaments, like I'll tell you now, if I'm running like a main tournament line, Ryan, I probably am going to roster both of those guys. I'd go Capella. If Monty Morris is out, I would go Jamal. Let's see. Best super draft. We covered that. Good job, Matt. We have a lineup here from people I like. Cheese Guy Boom, always in here showing love. People I like. Cheese Guy Boom, we love you. Wall, Campazzo, Edwards, Roby, Embiid, Brogdon, Nwaba, and Fournier.
Got an ownership update.
Don't like Fournier coming back. Campazzo only if Monty Morris is out. Honestly, I can get behind the rest of the guys. Go ahead, Matt.
It is Philly value night officially. Finally updated. We have Korkmaz, 35% ownership. This is the second highest on the slate. Seth Curry, 28.5% ownership, fourth highest on the slate. Tyrese Maxey, your boy, TJ. Now, I'm officially calling him your boy. Sixth on the slate now, 27.8% ownership. Those three guys made it into the top 6. That is crazy. So it is now Philly value night.
Yeah, on Roto, I have Seth showing the highest at 42% ownership, so I feel like he is probably going to start at the point guard position tonight. We know what happened last time, man, when he got the illness. I'm just saying. No, but I mean, if he starts at the 1, like I obviously have interest there. Let's see here. What else do we have? I pulled up my ugly face. I need to look at the questions. Yes, Waylon, we do. Yep. Do you guys announce changes for the core picks on Discord as news comes out? Yep. We update that. We at everybody.
Yeah, we're annoying with the ats.
Seth Green, Tyler said. Like the actor? Opening videos are dope. Thank you, Trent. Cash core locks. Danny, we're gonna end with that very shortly. Tatum and Brogdon or JB and Zion. Yeah, talk to you shortly. That's what my dad says. I like Tatum and Brogdon. But if Korkmaz starts, Korkmaz starts. We want to be starting him. Update that Patreon, said Tyler. Tyler's always breaking your balls in here, Matt, but he also said it's worth the $20 to join. Thank you, Tyler. Matt, we'll get to it ASAP as possible. Beal or Lillard? That's a tough one, man. I'd go Dame. It's a really, I like that. I like targeting that game. For
I have a few questions here, TJ. We have cash depending on injuries. Campazzo, Korkmaz, House, Roby, Embiid, Pritchard, Zion, Jokic. More Philly guys after reading that ownership. Trent, I know you'll fix it. No love for Hero at 6K. I think he's a good play. I think in a pace-up spot versus Golden State definitely makes for a good GPP option. Always love Tyler Hero. He's a good shooter. You worried about a midday downgrade for Joker? No, not at all. I think Jokic is probably one of the best players in the NBA right now, if not the best. Definitely don't have any concerns with him in this matchup. That's all I got.
But LeBron
what?
Okay. Is Pritchard an okay play tonight? Yeah, I don't hate him. If he starts at point, which he obviously is going to, like we don't have anybody else. We're not gonna start Teague. Projected at 28 minutes at 4,200. He gets a 1.5% usage bump with no Smart, no Tice, and no Kemba. 0.83 fantasy point per minute. I even pegged for 23.59 DraftKings points. Good matchup against Atlanta, so I don't hate him if you're going there. Tatum or Curry? I'm going to say Tatum. I don't even know if you mean Seth or Steph. I'm not sure which one, but I like
Steph.
Tatum. Butler or Tatum? I like Tatum. Guys, I'm going to like Tatum tonight with everybody being out. I know he has been a little lackluster lately, but I got to ride him.
That's what she said.
Okay. Is Ross in play with Fournier and Aminu back? I wouldn't go there, Erwin. No. Price tag's too much for me. Gary Trent or Anthony Edwards? Anthony Edwards for me for tournaments. Do I save a few spots for the Kawhi news?
Sure.
I think you can, but there's going to be so much ownership from this Boston game, from Houston, especially if Eric Gordon's out. I mean, you can. I'd probably do it more so in tournaments. Like, if he's out, we need to obviously be looking at some of these guys like Lou Williams. But you got to think, like, Lou Williams, he's almost 7K. So, like, you're going to need 42 basically for him, or tournaments. You're going to need almost 50 for him to actually, for you to make the optimal or have a chance for a big takedown. So Marcus Morris would be my guy there, especially if Kawhi's out. Even if Kawhi's in at 5,700, that's my favorite play from the Clippers. But yeah, I think you can do it, but I would do it more so in tournaments because I don't think a lot of people are going to be like, oh man, I need to build my lineup around Kawhi sitting. So in terms of cash, if you're doing that, and you get to that game and Kawhi sits and, you do pivot to some of these Clippers guys, they're all going to be low owned regardless. So I think it's safer just to play what we know and not really build around Kawhi tonight. But in tournaments, I think it makes for some great leverage. All right, Matt, 625.
Apparently I have a meme board where I can press random sound effects. And I just now found it.
Are you being facetious? Or are you?
No. I actually just found it.
Okay. You did that's what she said, right?
Yeah, no, I always do that's what she said. But these are like,
okay.
I can do a farting sound effect. Okay. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to get off. I'm going to get off on this note. I need to go focus on some things that are worth focusing on. All right, Patreon will be updated in about 5 minutes, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the live stream, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And with all that being said, let's cash.
Good luck, guys.